Hey, it's To The Point with Mike, Leo, and Vince.
Hey,
How you doing, guys?
What's going on, guys?
Oh, not much.
hey, you know, hey,
Mucho technical difficulties lately, and
mucha tecnología.
yeah, whatever he said.
Yeah. But you know what? Let me tell you guys something. Let me just put this out there real quick. Even though, like, I'm a Hispanic, right? Because I'm Hispanic.
You're who though? You're Leo.
I'm
right?
Leo. I'm Leo from To The Point podcast. I am to the PP podcast. Anyways, welcome again back to our podcast, where we just sit around and hang out and have a good conversation. We don't write anything down because we just show up and we're just.
Wow, you don't write anything down.
I don't write anything. I just show up and I just
Mike's
start
like,
talking.
speak for yourself.
Yeah. Well, I don't think Vince writes anything down either.
No.
Sometimes he listens to us, but sometimes he doesn't. But you know what I was reading the other day, Vince?
What's that, Leo?
So, see if you can answer this for me. How many holes does a straw have?
I mean, the typical answer would be 2, but there's more. Right?
I don't know. How many holes does a straw have? I even brought one with me. Look. How many holes does it have?
2.
Here and here. Are you sure, though?
It's the same hole.
That's true. You could say 1.
You know? Like, how many holes does a straw have? Think about it. I mean,
would say, I would say
see,
1.
You would say 1?
Yeah.
See, things like that to me, like, attract me. Like it makes you think. You know, like it opens people's eyes. Is what I'm trying to say. Like, open your eyes. Like, we live in a world nowadays that people just put on like blinders and they just keep walking. They don't know where they're going. You know, like just because somebody asks you like a trick question, like obviously it's 1 hole because it goes all the way through. It's not 2, right?
Yeah, I would. That's
Right.
Obviously,
My
it's
thinking.
1 because it's 1 unit. It's 1.
But without thinking about it, you would
Most-
say there's a
most
hole
people-
on each end. So there's 2.
Most people would probably quickly answer 2.
Okay, and my thing is, let's not be quick on thinking. Like, don't think quick.
Well, and I think
look
it's
at
cool.
the process. Look at what you're looking at, and just open your eyes.
It's
don't
cool. It's cool too to see how people see things differently. Like,
Oh,
on
absolutely. I
one of
agree.
the other podcasts, you were talking about how everybody sees things through their eyes differently. It's all how you interpret things.
Right. I agree. But yeah, I was seeing that and I was like, I saw that and I was like, I gotta ask Vince about this one, you know, because it's true, you know, like it's just a simple question, but it just opens your eyes,
Right.
you know, like how quick can we start a conversation by like, well, there's like another one. Do you have holes in your socks?
You know, when we got here, I was wondering why you had a straw with you. I was like, I saw it in the high noon box.
But you know what? I even
I was
stopped
like,
by
why has he got a
McDonald's.
straw
I
in there?
stopped by McDonald's and picked up a straw just for that reason.
Oh, the one out by 95?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just for that reason.
Not
just for
by
that little talk.
hey, but Vince, hold up. Not that 95.
Oh, wrong exit.
Not that 95. It's my 95.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, it's just something simple, you know. And I stopped by there and I was like, you know what? Let me, just ask stuff like that, you know. And I was like, holy shit, man.
So did you go through the drive-thru and just ask for a straw?
No, I didn't go through this drive. I didn't want to be like that.
Hey, can I have a straw, bro? No, I'm not buying anything. I just need a straw.
Right.
It's for a
But also,
podcast.
but it is another thing. It was like, if you think about it, if the opposites of pro is con, is the opposite of progress in Congress?
I gotcha. I know exactly what you're getting at there. Yeah, no progress, Congress.
No progress, Congress.
Speaking of, well,
You know what
took
I'm
it
saying?
down
Like,
that
I'm
road,
just,
yeah.
I'm just saying, you know, it's
Yeah.
just simple and easy. Something just dropped my nerves on the ground.
You bring up that kind of thing.
You know, it's just
today's a big day. Actually, I don't know if you guys are. We're probably not because we live in Florida. We can give 2 shits really, but there's a primary going on in New Hampshire today. Was their caucus where Joe Biden wasn't on the ballot for a Democrat nominee. I don't know if you guys knew that or not, but they something to do with the rules change. He wasn't eligible to be on the ballot for the Democratic nominee in New Hampshire, but he won anyways because everybody wrote him in.
Right.
Trump also won today, which is the breaking news that actually just come across my phone right now. The New Hampshire primary, Trump wins. Rematch with Biden appears increasingly likely. If you ask Nikki Haley, though, she's the only one who can beat Biden.
Yeah, I actually saw that today.
Yeah.
She was saying that.
She's also the one who doesn't want you to be able to remain anonymous online, like to use online social media platforms. She wants you to be verified through your driver's license.
You mean everybody?
Everybody. And this is supposed to be somebody who's not like that. It's just she's a conservative and she doesn't act like one at all. A lot of people say that she's bought and paid for by the establishment and the left, the Democrats, because they know it's not going to be Joe Biden. There's a lot of speculation on that too. We've done other shows. I wish we'd have written down our talks about our predictions, but about Biden. I mean, like, you really think he's going to be on their ballot?
I said from the beginning that I didn't think he would.
I don't think Biden's going to be on the ballot.
I think something's going to happen.
Why
I don't think they believe that Joe Biden can win.
Why don't you think?
Unless they cheat.
He's going to be on the ballot because normally they normally are, aren't they? For a second term.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Why do you think he's
but do you think he's actually going to run to win?
I
And be
think-
president
Well,
again?
clearly we already know he can't run because he can't even ride a bike.
I mean, I don't
He
think.
can't.
Right now, I don't think health-wise
I mean-
he's fit to be president. And I don't know. I just think something's
Well,
going
he's
to
on the
prevent it.
ballots now. But
But he's been getting
There's
all
a-
this juiced up, man. He's been getting juiced. Like he's been going somewhere to get some kind of.
Is it even him, Leo?
I don't know.
who knows? But they say there's a lot of speculation.
Our microphone's on, Mike.
Yeah, they're on. There's a lot of speculation that he might bow out of it at the convention. If he comes and he says, I'm going to step down for health reasons and turn it over to the convention to see who all the delegates vote for, it's going to be a hell of a convention.
Right.
Who do you think's going to come out of the Democratic convention as the nominee, if not Joe Biden? I know there's not a lot
Michael.
a lot of names. Yeah, Michael Obama,
Yeah.
Big Mike. A lot of that's what they're saying. It's not going to be Kamala, who's vice president. They think they're going to tease her with a Supreme Court nomination when one comes up, just to get her to say, she's not going to go for the position because it should be hers. She should be the heir to the nomination after Biden.
Typically, that's the way
Right.
it works.
But Michelle Obama is, pretty involved and pretty active in the politics, they say, along with Barack. I mean, we already know he wanted to have a third term sitting at home with an earpiece, and pretty much that's what we've had.
And
And
there's
they say there's been a lot of phone calls and a lot of conversations between Barack and Joe, and he hasn't been very satisfied with the way it's looking in a face-off with Trump.
And, there's no doubt. I don't think anybody would really doubt that she would be a more popular vote. She's going to gain more votes than Biden would, just because
Michelle Obama, man.
anybody that likes Barack Obama is going to vote for Michelle.
Well, I don't know.
Just most.
A lot of people were not happy with Barack, man.
No, but
Once,
you still have a group that love him.
Yeah.
So he's still going. She's automatically going to get that. She'll probably automatically get most of whoever would have voted for Biden, and she's definitely going to get more than likely. You got certain people that are going to vote for whoever else just because they hate Trump. She's definitely going to pull in more votes, I think, than Biden would. What do you think?
I definitely think so. She's a different person. I mean, we know, like, on the right, I have my opinion of her or him, whatever
Right.
you want to call it, whatever. But she's pretty apolitical. I mean, yeah, she's a little progressive, but she's kind of kept her nose clean. She's very educated, and she was making good money before they even got into politics. But she's not a dummy.
Right.
She's got the Oprah crowd. She's got the Democrats. She's got, I don't know, man. It would be a tough. I don't know if Donald Trump could pull that off. To be
I don't
honest with
know.
you.
Kamala Harris is a dummy.
Oh
But-
yeah.
so,
they
I mean,
they
that's
totally regret that.
That would be horrible, and I don't think she would pull. She would pull less votes, in my opinion, than Biden could. Whereas I think Michelle Obama get more, and I think you're right. It would definitely be a lot more difficult for Trump to win that one.
Yeah, because I think it's not like an Oprah who's completely from the outside like he was coming in, but it's more of an Oprah on steroids, I would say. She's got the political capital behind her, and that would put Barack Obama at a hand's reach for another term also.
Right.
So a lot of people on the left and in the middle, probably moderates or independents, would kind of like that idea of another Obama administration.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. What would you prefer, an Obama or a Clinton?
I think I would prefer.
Michelle or Hillary? What? Can we move on?
Well, no.
Listen.
Hold on. That's a good question, man. Michelle or Hillary? Like,
I want to vote for either one.
No,
first
okay.
off.
No, okay, Vince. But if we had an
I
option,
got a bad taste in my
I'm
mouth
just saying,
right now.
if we had to, because you never know, shit like this might happen. We might have to vote for whoever they put on that damn ballot. Man.
So here's the thing: if it's either one of them, at the end goal, I think is the same. They're still going to be looking to do the same thing for the same party. I'd rather look at. Which one would you rather look at for the next 4 years, maybe
Hillary.
8?
Hillary.
That's what it boils down to me.
Hillary.
Which one would I rather
I
look
don't
at
know, man.
Hillary.
for the next 4 to 8 years? Because
Hillary.
They're
You know
working.
why?
They're going to be working the same job.
Hillary.
Doing
You know
the same
why?
thing.
She's a good lady.
Hillary.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you say so.
I don't know. Did you get an email from her?
Yeah,
She's a good lady,
right.
man. Leave
Yeah.
the lady alone.
There's some
man.
emails on that laptop.
Man, leave the lady alone, man. There's some more nastier fucking people out there, man. Like, look at all these people. Like, look at what's his name?
Did it get brighter in here?
Yeah, I turned that on.
Us.
It's like
That's
kinda
Well,
we
hold on,
made
hold
that.
on. I don't want to
A
move
little
on just
delayed.
yet, but I do want to move on from ex-presidents' wives jumping in the ring. But watch this.
In the ring.
We in this, the things that keep me up, because you don't have control over them, and you wonder, where are we in this? Where are our hearts? What's going to happen in this next election? I am terrified about what could possibly happen, because our leaders matter. Who we select, who speaks for us, who holds that bully pulpit. It affects us in ways that sometimes I think people take for granted.
Yeah, so there you have her saying, it scares her to death to think who could take that position and have that much power. And it almost looks like she's ready to grab it by the balls. But I really think we should move on from former presidents' wives for president. Like, who's next? Melania? Is that her name?
Yeah, something like that.
Melania.
Melania or
Melania.
Melania. Yeah, like, I'm not going to vote
Melania
for her
Trump.
for president either, and I like her, but I think it's time to move on.
You don't think we should have a female president?
I don't care if we do or not. Really, I don't. If
I
the
don't
person
either.
is right and they get the recognition and they can convey their message and convince me, I don't really care
Me
what
either.
they are.
I want the right person for the job. Whoever's going to represent.
But
what I
I'm
wanna
not
see.
really copacetic with another president in the White House again who's served his 2 terms. I don't know if I'm cool with that.
Right.
I know it should be the
it's
first man.
It's like cheating the system. Like, okay, is she really president, or is Barack getting a 3rd term?
Either way,
I mean, he's getting a 3rd term right now.
Well, right, but
Now he could be looking at a 4th term.
even if she held and did everything separated from him, it still puts him in a position of influence in power around the world, more so than what he would have had just retired, which was a lot. But back in the White House again with your spouse in the big seat behind the desk, I think it just it's an opportunity for more corruption. I mean, already we're rampant with corruption in Congress with the people going in there with a couple hundred, like 5 million, and coming out with $200 million salaries. You know, like it after horrible salaries. I mean, but it's just freaking. I don't think it's good for business. I think once you go, you should just go, man.
No, I agree with that. It's
do your terms and just go,
like you said,
fade off into the sunset.
It's just more corruption. Another way that the government is just a little more corrupt.
Yeah. Anyways,
The government's always been corrupt, regardless.
Well, no doubt about that, but it's definitely gotten worse lately.
yeah, I would say. Is it worse though, or are we just seeing it?
Well, that's true, but
I mean, everything that when Trump came, if he did nothing, he exposed the corruption in the deep state.
yeah,
He was the first one coming in talking about the swamp.
I think it's worse, but like, you know, it's worse. Even if it's not worse per se, it's at least worse because now it's right in front of us and it's just okay.
Right.
Well, I think the world's been turned upside down.
But
We're talking about
we haven't had your children you worry about your children going to school and hearing some of the stuff that they're hearing like they are now.
Well,
you know.
Well, let me see if this clip. Speaking of school, there was an interview with Tiffany Justice, who's a co-founder of Moms for Liberty, and Joy Reid, who I think is an MSNBC anchor, extreme leftist, progressive, dumbass, and she went at Tiffany Justice pretty hard. Let's take a look.
LGBTQ kids, do they have parental rights?
Every parent, Joy. Every parent means every parent has the fundamental right to direct the upbringing of their children.
And liberal parents, do liberal parents have those rights as well?
All parents. Sure.
So let me point you to some statistics, because the question becomes then who gets to decide what all kids get to read. The Washington Post took a look at about 1,000 plus book challenges that were filed, and they found that they were filed nationwide by just 11 people. Each of these people brought 10 or more challenges against books in their school district. Together, these serial filers constituted 6% of all book challengers, but they were responsible for 60% of filings. In Florida, Tampa Bay Times, they found that of roughly 1,100 complaints recorded in Florida since July 2022, we're talking about more than 700 just from two counties, Escambia in the Western Panhandle and Clay County. Together, those are less than 3% of the public school enrollment, 600 of those complaints, 2 people. Why should 13 people get to decide what books tens of thousands of children get to read?
Well, I'm thinking it's probably because those 13 people saw what some of the content was in the books. I mean, explicit, graphic, sexual content. And I'm happy to talk about some of that content if you'd like to.
Well, this is the question again. The books that are being banned, I want to give you just some.
Books are being banned.
No, hold on a second.
Well, no, Joy, but I want to be clear. No one's banning books. Write the book, print the book, publish the book, put the book in the public library, sell the book, right? We're talking about a public school library. Children don't have unfettered access to the internet at school. I did a FOIA records request, and I wanted to see what kinds of internet sites are banned in schools, if we're going to talk about banning, right? And the subject matter in the books that moms are concerned about are the same things that kids don't have access to on the internet. So it just feels very hypocritical, right? No, why is no one out there protesting for, free the internet in schools?
Asking is, what is the expertise that you have and other Moms for Liberty advocates have to decide that a book, an award-winning book like All Boys Aren't Blue, isn't appropriate for students to read? What is your expertise?
What a tragic story of a young man who's anally raped by his adult family member. So you have incest, rape, pedophilia. Joy, you said you'd let me answer, so I'm going to answer
Please
for
do.
you. In what context is a strap-on dildo acceptable for public school? That's my question to you. Tell me what the context around the strap-on dildo or the rape of a minor child by a teacher.
Hold on a second.
No, we're talking about public school.
One moment.
All right.
So now you've asked me questions.
Sure.
I'm going to answer it.
Okay.
Well, who is the main character? What's the name of the main character in All Boys Aren't Blue?
You're asking me right now.
You just
to
gave
name-
me very specific information about this book, so you're presenting yourself as somebody expert.
It's the
To-
gentleman.
Hold
the
on.
main,
Who's the main character in the book?
the main character is the author.
What's his name?
George, I believe, is his first name.
Because you're giving me very specific information that is.
You're
presenting
asking me to
yourself as an
remember the
expert.
name of an author.
You
the
just
name of the
remembered
author
very
doesn't
specific names.
joy.
Here's my
We're
question.
talking about
Here's my
You
question.
didn't answer my question.
No. I'm going to answer your
Great.
question.
I would love to hear that.
Absolutely. Well, I'm interviewing you and you're not interviewing me. So let's just make sure it's a conversation.
Okay, great.
So what I'm saying to you is that as you are not an expert in this book,
I don't
or
have to
hold
be
on.
an expert to know
hold
that
on a second.
dildos aren't
One
appropriate
moment,
for public
one moment.
school. I mean, come
This
on, let's get
book
real.
Is a full context story, as you said, of the author's experience. Why is it your right or a Moms for Liberty activist's right to say that a parent who wants their child to have access to this book, which gives a personal experience of this author, why doesn't a liberal parent, for instance, or a parent of an LGBTQ kid, why don't they have a right for their child to just have access to this book? Why is it your right to say they can't?
So again, we're talking about incest, rape, and pedophilia.
And
Joy, you
each
said you'd
parent,
answer- Joy, you said you'd let me answer.
no. Each parent has to decide what is appropriate for their child to read. So I want you to answer. I'm going to
So
ask you
let's
one more
have
time.
Right.
What is your right to tell a parent who wants their child, who might feel seen by this story? Why
Oh
don't
my
they
gosh.
have the right? Why don't they have the right as a
Yeah, so I mean,
Go to a public library, not a school library, if you want your kid to see that.
I don't know what right does anybody have to have access to that in a public school anyways. The public administration has no right to provide it.
Right. And like the one part that she was talking about, how they can't go look at that stuff on the computer while they're at school.
Yeah.
Why can they go into the library and read about it?
Right. And it's not just like, I picture a bunch of 10-year-old boys, 11-year-old boys, 12-year-old boys, and one of them comes across this book or hears about it. Now now it's all over the place. But they go find the book, then they're like, oh, hee, look at this, and they pass it around. And parents are forced to have conversations before it would have been fit for their child, not all children, but their child, if that circumstance wasn't happening due to a book in a public school.
Right.
Public school has no right to introduce that to children at all anyways.
Right.
And if it's in the case of somebody who's had these problems done to them, they need to seek that kind of information or comfort, or would it be through other means, not public school.
Right.
Or maybe like through the school psychiatrist, or I'm sure there's resources there that don't need to be in a public library, in the school library. It's not the public library, it's a school library.
I mean, I want to say the old days, but even today, like if your kid goes over to Leo's house and finds one of these books and starts reading it, you're going to be upset with Leo, right? You're going to be like, yeah, dude, what the fuck?
Well, if you...
So why... So now your kid can just go to school and it be the book that all the kids are talking about. It's not that your kid went and seeked it out. Like, it's going to be pushed. Like, if all the kids are talking about it, your kid's going to want to go check it out.
I'm sorry, like if you have a kid, and let's say you have let's say the kid's uncle is talking to the kid about this kind of stuff. That's predatory, and that uncle would be charged, if not murdered.
So, yeah, he'd be considered...
But why is it okay to put it in a book in a freaking school?
Right.
I don't get it. But that woman, she did pretty good. She was actually a former school board member here in Indian River County. She was put through the ringer through the local politics here in this county can get out of hand also. There's elections coming up here, but her name's Tiffany Justice. I don't know her personally, but I started paying attention just after she exited the local scene in politics and founded Moms for Liberty. But anyways, she did a pretty good job against definitely a combative interview. That Joy Reid is she's a piece of work. But you guys watch UCF at all? Speaking of a fight, you watch UCF at all?
No. Once in a blue moon, if I
don't.
come across it on like YouTube, like a video, I might watch. But That's very rare. Like I never watch it live.
But
I know
you,
somebody was fighting something big or something.
I don't know. I know one player. I know one guy, and his name's Sean Strickland. But the only reason, like,
I know
we've
Ronda
even
Rousey.
Yeah, she don't even fight
she's got-
anymore.
she
I don't
got-
think
she got paid and she retired. But
she does movies now.
Hey, so what's up with this guy that from the NFL that's getting paid to say to get the shot?
That's Kelsey. That's
Oh,
Taylor
Trav-
Swift's
Travis
boyfriend.
Kelce.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Yeah, we talked about him.
There's rumor that part of his payment is dating Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Did he even get the third shot?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I think he got paid like $200 million.
So he's
Yeah.
pretty much
He got the
set.
second, third, fourth, and
He's
fifth.
set. For
So
that. He's
so
set for
there's
life.
now that
Well,
you brought
he's only
Travis
got
Kelsey up, the last game his brother was like shirtless and like jumped out a window like screaming with beer in his hand and stuff
From
like
what I
that.
understand,
Did he
his
get
brother's-
arrested?
his
Hold on, did he get
brother
arrested?
is pretty conservative though. He's
Yeah.
not like a dumbass liberal
No,
like
no,
his
no.
brother.
Did he get arrested?
No, he jumped back in the window where he was and went back to partying in there, but it was just funny.
There was pictures of him lifting up little kids to see Taylor up in the box office.
right, and then
He was sitting right in front of it.
and then there's
Who?
a picture that
The
came
brother,
out.
the older brother, who's another NFL star. I
And then
guess,
there was a picture of the head coach of the Chiefs kissing Taylor Swift on the lips.
Oh yeah,
I actually, it was just weird. Like just weird stuff has come out of. Since you'd brought up Travis Kelsey, just weird stuff.
She's turned into a wacko.
That boy's got money though. Like, how do you
Well,
get?
yeah, she's a billionaire.
Oh, she's got more money than him and
Yeah.
everybody else on that team combined.
That's crazy though. But just to think, Vince. Like, how can I put it into words? Like, just to think that, like, she has nothing to worry about, right?
Oh, you mean financially?
Financially.
Some of these people that are where she's at though, they end up screwing up. You know, somebody else has control of their money. I mean, it happens, but yeah, she should never have to worry about money.
So
ever
listen,
again.
I was reading something about the other day that there's like 15 millionaires or billionaires or whatever that are like all came in together and like building a bunker or something like that. Is that right?
I don't know nothing about it. That's all you got.
Yeah, that
Like,
even
when you bring that up, you got to bring
that
up
even-
more.
that
You
even-
gotta
that
come to
even
the
Biden-
table with more than that.
that even
Is it
Biden
like
had
an underground bunker
Yeah,
for
an
like
underground bunker that
Bezos-
even,
for, like,
that
nuclear
even
war.
Biden.
Yeah. Bezos built an underground
Who
bunker
else?
in Miami, I think, and along with
I'm gonna pull it up right now because I know I was reading on it and I
along with
saved it.
Zuckerberg in Hawaii. I think they both built underground
Really?
bunkers. Yeah,
If I had that kind of money, I'd have one.
Would you build an underground bunker?
I would. Fuck
You
I
yeah.
don't know. I mean, if you got more money than you know,
You
what
don't
to do
have
with.
exactly like you got so much money you can't get rid of it all. Like if you tried,
Right.
so why wouldn't I have one?
No, yeah, you're right. Why wouldn't you have one? I agree.
Especially with how
But, yeah.
fucked up this world is right now.
So listen, if a dead person
Yeah, you
goes
gotta
to
get-
court, does it still have a hearing or no?
Say that again, Leo.
A deaf person goes to court. Yeah,
Is it still called a hearing or no?
Yes, Leo. It's still a hearing.
I don't know. Just like it just came
Yeah.
up to one of the things that I like.
So
But
I want to go back to the UCF fight.
Yeah, what's up with that?
So this guy got very political, and we talked about UCF in the past because they took the Bud Light contract, which is 200, like another $200 million, like that Travis Kelsey.
right.
But this was it was kind of a shocker because Dana White, who runs the UCF, is like total free speech. He don't fucking care what his sorry about my language, but he don't care about what his people sends. And
Does he still own the majority of it though?
Who is this, Vince?
Dana White.
no, yeah, if we're live still, we're gonna have to piece together the audio again. Yeah, it sounds like
Sounds like we're aliens again.
I don't know what it could be this time. Maybe that was it. I don't know.
What was it?
There was a switch, but it shouldn't make a difference. Anyway, Sean Strickland, he's very vocal. You know, like so when Bud Light gave this money to UCF for the sponsorship, everyone's like, "Wow, how's Dana White going to keep people like Sean Strickland from running their mouth?" And Dana White's response was like, "He's not. I'm not. They can say whatever the fuck they want."
Right.
So when they asked Sean Strickland about Bud Light money, he was like, "Look, the way I look at it is because you know Bud Light went woke,
Right.
throughout
Oh,
all
yeah,
that,
for sure. Right.
fucking Dylan Mulvaney shit. He's like, the way I look at it is, they're gonna pay me to talk shit, whether they like it or not. And if they don't like it, then they whatever, I'm gone. But here's a clip from him. If you got kids in the room, mute it if you can actually hear it.
You look at me and I'm an asshole. I'm making fun of this liberal fuck, like, no offense, man. I mean, we I guess we need fucking liberals, kind of, maybe not. He's not going to say, like, if you ask a motherfucker, did you vote for Biden? He's like, well, I'm not going to say. That's none of your business. He voted for fucking Biden.
Shauna,
so, hey.
We've got a pretty supportive gay and lesbian community in this city. I did want to ask you about something you wrote a couple of years ago. You said, if I had a gay son, I would think I've...
Oh, look, another. I'm saying to you, the swamp, you guys, the swamp.
You become a champion, you become a star, and someone says...
Let me ask you something. Are you gay?
Have you had the chance to interact with a more diverse
Let me know, are you gay?
Could I get an answer?
Well, no, I'm asking, this is the part of, are you a gay man?
I'm an ally of the community.
Okay. If you had a son and he was like, you had a son, he was gay, you'd be like, oh man, you don't want a grandkid?
No problem with it.
Oh man, well, dude, you're a weak fucking man, dude. You're part of the fucking problem. You elected Justin Trudeau, like, when he sees the bank accounts, like, you're just fucking pathetic. And the fact that you have no fucking backbone. And has he shut down your fucking country and seized bank accounts? You ask me some stupid shit like that, go fuck yourself. Move the fuck on, man.
That doesn't really answer the question, but I do.
Here's the thing about Bud Light. 10 years ago, to be trans was a mental fucking illness. And now all of a sudden, people like you have fucking weaseled your way into the world. You are an infection. You are the definition of weakness. Everything that is wrong with the world is because of fucking you. And the best thing is the world's not buying it. The world's not buying your fucking bullshit you're fucking peddling. The world is not saying, you know what? You're right. Fucking chicks have dicks. The world's not saying that. The world's saying, no, there are two genders. I don't want my kids being taught about, who they could fuck in school. I don't want my kids being taught about, their sexual preference. Like, dude, this guy is the fucking enemy. You want to look at the fucking enemy to our world? It's that motherfucker right there, asking these stupid fucking questions. Sorry, I told the UFC I was being nicer. Lance, am I?
So, hopefully we got some audio problems fixed. We're back live on our screen now.
Yeah, so that was pretty aggressive.
Well, the dude don't hold back.
No.
And, there was more to it, but I didn't want to bore everybody.
I don't disagree with what he had to say.
We have a problem with our audio. Anyways, we'll delete these lives and just post audio with the video separately. But yeah, I had that, and that's all I really had to talk about. Besides your Travis Kelce guy, Leo, with that much money, there's conspiracy that he was set up. Like, part of his payoff, his sellout to the devil was, Taylor Swift and all that other shit he's got going on.
That's crazy.
Never know.
Yeah, it's very strange, our audio problems.
Yeah, like you say, Vince, you never know, man. Like, it's just...
Yeah, I mean,
only they know.
there's rumors of it, but
Only they know.
I hope it's not true.
Only they know, and they're the only ones with the money. And they're gonna have people that also know, but they're just gonna hush them up with their money.
Like, if that's true, like, if she's part of his payment, like, how much in debt is she? Like,
She
how
ain't
much
in
are
debt.
how much are they paying her?
Oh yeah, she's getting paid probably. It's a show, Vince. It's all a show, man.
So that
Are they plants? Like World Economic Forum plants?
Could be.
Could be. I don't know. I don't trust any of them, actually. Pushing a freaking vaccine and people are still dropping dead from the shit. And then you got these people meeting in Davos, Switzerland about disease X and what are they going to do next, and how are they going to maintain control of the masses, or how are they going to convince us to live in 15-minute cities, and go to digital currencies, eat crickets, and live in pods. Have you seen that? Have you seen the pods they're selling? Like city living, since it's so expensive. It's like literally just a little pod that you can sleep in.
It's basically like how in China, you know, they still, some of them will actually sleep in little fucking, it almost looks like the morgue things that you slide a dead body into. They'll sleep in shit like that.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
I can't do that.
And then they talk about the chemtrails blocking out the sunlight,
Right?
like the vitamins you get from the sunlight. Why? They're trying to make us little more sensitive to outdoors, to being outside.
I watched a video yesterday. I think it was a guy that's like trying to get the word out there, like to tell people to only drink natural spring water, and he's not talking about like bottled. Like he's got a website. I don't remember the name of the website, but like where you can go find where there's a natural running spring near you, and you go there and you can get, you know, a bunch of water and for your family and stuff. Like I don't remember what it is in the chlorinated water. There's a certain chemical in it that it's proven and known to dull your senses out, to make you
fluoride, maybe.
That's it.
Yeah, fucks with your teeth. It's not good for you.
And it's supposed to like really fuck you up. Like he swears him and his family stopped drinking water, bottled water, faucet water, and just only drinks spring water. And he's like, you will just feel a million times better. And I don't doubt it. Like the chemicals that, just think about it. Like if the government's going to do anything, like we talk about the chem clouds, what's the easiest thing? Something that they've been doing probably for years is fucking with our water.
Yeah.
Everybody's got to drink water.
Yeah, you're right.
But I don't know. It was just something I saw on YouTube or something the other day, and it was interesting. Makes me not want to drink water with fluoride in it, which I'd have to go to a natural spring to do that. It's pretty much the only way.
Or well water. I mean, because it's coming from anywhere that's like a city, municipality, they add fluoride or something like that. I don't know if it's like, I don't know how common it is now, but it's or how much they put in it. I don't know, but it's in the toothpaste too, but it's not meant for you to consume like that. I don't know. It's not, they say it's not very good for your teeth either. It ends up eating off the enamel, but yeah. What else we got here? We had some news. I think I already mentioned it. The Supreme Court ruled in favor of the Biden administration when it comes to Texas putting out the razor wire on the border. Texas blocked federal agents from removing the razor wire with the National Guard, and the Biden administration took it to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court ruled in favor of the Biden administration that they can remove it, which essentially just opens up the border in this area of Texas. And it's like almost like the federal government is allowing Texas to be invaded, because that's what it is. The amount of people coming into Texas.
I don't know if it's true, but from what I heard, they're still holding their ground. Like they're not.
I saw a video today that Texas National Guard were putting out more razor wire.
Yeah, they were putting them out.
Yeah.
So, and from what I had heard, he's not going to back down. He says he's going to fight it to the end.
That could be the start, like
could be the start of an actual civil war. Yeah, could start right there.
I mean, I would say we're probably already in it.
Right. But like the physical,
the first battle
where people recognize that,
bloodshed.
It's crazy. Could be very well where it happens. And I say bravo to the Texas governor for not backing down. You know.
So what do you guys think about Ron DeSantis dropping out?
Well, he endorsed Trump, which is pretty much what you're supposed to do when you drop out. But I mean, it was expected. He had no shot. I don't really think too much of it. Maybe now he can get back to focusing on the job he's actually being paid for.
Yeah, that some would say. You know what I found out was pretty screwed up? They changed the law so he can run, right? because there was Florida law that any sitting official cannot run for a higher office while sitting in the office they have. So he
a
wouldn't
Florida
have,
governor has to not be Florida governor anymore in order to run.
So they changed the law specifically for Ron DeSantis, but any other official in the state
still couldn't.
Still can't. You know, which I think. I mean, I think to run for a federal office, the law states they have to retire. Now, if it's an in-state office, I don't know if the law applies. Like, I think if you're a state representative and you want to be a state senator, I think you're good. Like, you can still run because it's like a promotion. But yeah, I don't know how that works. But he did the right thing.
I don't know. To me, he's a snitch.
He is. I wouldn't trust him.
I
sure as fuck hope he's not the pick for vice president, for Trump's vice president. I hope not. But I mean, I don't know. I think someone said that Trump led on that he knows who his vice president's going to be, and it's he's from New York. Nobody's going to be surprised, really. I forget what they said. I didn't see Trump say it firsthand, but that kind of discounts a few of them, you know. DeSantis, Ramaswamy.
I like Ram Salami.
I do.
Ramaswamy.
I struggle with his name too.
Vivek. He says Vivek. And it rhymes with cake.
Swami.
So Vivek, cake. Like the way you pronounce the second part of his name. But I like him. You know, a lot of people are like total anti-Vivek.
But I agree.
They think he's like a plant, a psyop.
I like him. I agree with what you said, though, last week, because I was kind of in favor of him being vice president. But I kind of agree with what you said. He could be better served elsewhere under the Trump administration.
Yeah, I mean, I really wish it. I mean, if not, I would settle for vice president. Right. You know, because.
But you know what? I think he would be a good vice president because I think that would just set him up for his.
Well, that's the plan. And there's so much focus on the vice president this time around because Trump can only serve one term. Barely ever is there a president that's constitutionally limited to serving one term running for office. He already served one term.
Right. So a lot of people would say that his best bet is to have a female vice president as far as helping gain votes.
That doesn't apply to Trump.
Well,
it doesn't apply to Trump.
But that's what a lot of people are going to say, though. Like,
but think about this, though. That applies to your left-leaning, liberal, lefty Democrats. To Trump, I don't think anybody expects that out of Trump. I don't think it would matter one way or another.
Right.
Especially because the women on the right don't really tend to carry much favor. I mean, Carrie Lake is, but I think she's running to burn Arizona down. They cheated her out of the Arizona governorship, and now she's running to be senator, and they're trying to pay her off not to run. She leaked the video, like she secretly recorded them. But the whole Ramaswamy thing, I mean, I'd be okay with vice president.
Right.
I don't think he's a plant. I don't think he's a snake. I think he's our best chance because after Donald Trump's 4 years, we need somebody who can carry the torch for 8 more years and making the right decisions along the way. You know, I mean, playing 3 moves down the road, I mean, we can't just look at Trump because he's only going to be available for 4 years. You know, if they even let him in the White House, you know, if he even can sets foot on the property again, he's only going to be able to do 4 more years. So who he picks is very critical for us, you know, for everybody. I don't know. I'd like to see Ramaswamy. I don't know what other. I mean, I think like a chief of staff position would be good, but how does that keep him in the limelight? You know, because you kind of need him there. You don't want him to outshine you, but you kind of need him to still be relevant. And,
right. And in that regard, he's not going to be looked at as the next in line. Like,
as a chief of staff.
Typically, you look at the vice president as the next in line, like we talked about before with what's her name, Kamala Harris. But like nobody looks at Kamala Harris as the next in line. I mean,
Well, I think we all know better now.
I mean, she just
even the
doesn't-
people on the left don't want Kamala Harris.
yeah, she just doesn't have the intellect, the knowledge. She just doesn't come off well to me. I've never heard her speak and been like, she sounds like she knows what she's talking about.
Ever.
Every time I hear her talk, I am like, she's our fucking vice president? You gotta
She's
be kidding me.
literally blown her way to the top.
I don't care
just
how she
saying.
got there, but she don't belong there.
Yeah, I don't know, but I think who he picks, I don't think it's going to be a woman. I don't. Oh, jeez. I don't think it's going to be a woman, and I don't think he gives a shit really. But it's got to be somebody who can carry the torch, the America First torch, not just the
Right.
MAGA torch, but the America First torch. I think they said he's from New York, though. I can't really. You know, it's not Rudy Giuliani. They won't let him anywhere near the White House
No.
either. But I can't think of anybody unless he's going to cross the lines and go with a Democrat. But I don't see any Democrats out of New York. I don't see him picking any Democrats out of New York either. I could be wrong. What do you think,
Maybe
Leo?
he'll pick Kanye West.
No.
How old is Vivek?
Vivek?
Vivek, yeah. How old is he?
40 or 41?
So he's still pretty young.
Yeah. And he's got money. He doesn't need.
Right.
He's not going to take a payoff.
He's like Trump. He didn't do this for the money because he's got money.
Yeah, I mean, he's again. Now there's two people who've lost net worth doing this for their country, and that's Vivek and. Well, I mean, Vivek hasn't served in office, but Trump's the only president who's lost net worth
Right.
after
The rest
serving
of
in
them all.
office.
I can't remember how many. Biden's supposed to be worth like 20 times what he was when he went into
Yeah,
office.
they
before.
all do that.
I mean-
and it's ridiculous, man. I don't know. I would like to see Trump pick, not DeSantis. I'm not even
They
big
shouldn't
on
get
Tim
paid,
Scott.
though, man.
You know, the fucked up part
I
was
mean,
before DeSantis
Because if
ran
you wanna-
before all
because
this.
if you want this,
I would have said he would have been the one to take the torch.
he would have, but he ran too soon.
He ran too soon, and the
Who?
people running his campaign, they fucked him up.
DeSantis.
DeSantis, yeah, they fucked his image up, man. I mean, I don't know if I'd vote for him to be our governor again. I mean, it would
Well,
depend
yeah.
who he's running against.
yeah, that's sad.
Well, you're not going to be able to because I think he's termed out also as governor. But
Is he?
yeah, I think they can only serve 2 terms as governor. But
But you can be on the Senate for 100 years.
Yeah.
yeah, well, you got to
Figure
keep
that
you
one
got to
out.
keep getting reelected. But yeah, it is screwed up. But I don't know. The whole political landscape I think is pretty toxic. I don't see.
Just get rid of it.
Well, you can't do that. Like, what do you replace it with?
Nothing. Everybody
you need something.
Everybody's controlled by this person controls this state, and that's it.
Who?
Yeah.
Somebody.
You mean
Somebody.
you're just talking about just give all the power to the states.
Yeah.
States run themselves. There's
Yeah.
no.
Well, I mean that's.
Yeah. I mean,
That's ideal, but it's hard enough to get people to vote in local elections, like your sheriff. I
Well, it's
mean,
gonna have to come to that point that there is no. You're gonna have to.
Well, I think more and more people are starting to see it because, I mean, really, your last defense against unconstitutional laws from the federal government is your local sheriff, your local city people. You know, who's going to back up your sheriff? You know, if you got a sheriff, if they pass a law, there's been sheriffs cross country where a state has, well, I think it was Arizona, outlawed guns in a city, and it was like unconstitutional, and the sheriff just wouldn't have no part of it, you know.
oh yeah, I remember hearing about that.
Yeah,
That wasn't
it
that
was
long
like-
ago.
No, it wasn't that long ago, but you need more of those sheriffs out there.
Right.
Nobody knows, like, and it is a local issue, but what your sheriff does in instances like that has a lot to do with the national landscape, not just your state or local, but like how would they what level of cooperation they would have with
So I
federal
got
agencies, I think is a big deal.
I got a little bone I got to pick. All right, because I was at this festival that we have here in town. It's called the Frog Leg Festival, right? Let me get this mic here so in River County can hear me, and Phillipsburg Police Department can hear me. So I was there this weekend, right, with my family. And I was looking at our local Feldmer Police Department. And I was just like, wow. What a proud citizen I am of my Feldmer Police Department. Like, bunch of slobs, man. Like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it's pretty
like,
sloppy.
but it's just like, what are these guys gonna do when there's an emergency? Literally, if we would line them up and say, "Hey, fellas, we have an emergency," what would they do? I think they would all look at each other and be like, I wonder which one's gonna be. I'm not saying I'm fit or I'm like capable of doing the job, but you see these guys and you're just like, come on, man. What are you guys doing? The only thing that makes you guys a police officer or scared of or whatever is because you have a gun on your side and a badge on you. That's it. Other than that, you're not doing anything. You know, like that's how I look at them. Like, you're not doing anything for me. You're not. A kid can look at you and be like, "Oh wow," you know. Like I showed my son. I was like, "Hey, look, that's our Felsmer Police Department right there for you, bro." And he looks at me like, "Oh yeah, look, Dad, it's the police." I'm like, "Yeah, that's the police, bro. You're right. That is the police." You know, like you can run and they probably won't be able to catch you, bro. Like
their boss is running for sheriff of the county.
Well, he needs to just stay where he's at, and I mean, I don't know, shake him up or something, man.
I'd have to say I was pretty disappointed in what I saw the other day. Also, however, I am a fan of the police chief, of what he did with the police department in this town compared to what it was 25 years ago. He ain't been here that long, or he ain't the only one who's fixed it. But running for sheriff in this county is kind of like a big deal, I guess. There's 4 of them running. You know that 4 people running. How much money do you think?
Oh, there's a lot of money.
One of them would spend on their campaign.
I don't know, but there's a lot of money. I already know there's a lot of money. We live in the Treasure Coast. You know, I'm sure there's tons of money. Where do they get all these money from? People give them money so that they can buy signs and people can buy shirts and stuff like that. Is that what they find?
People sponsors or donate.
Can I sponsor myself? Can I say
if you want to run for sheriff, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I say, hey, I'm gonna take this money and I'm gonna deposit it into my
yeah, you can spend your own money on your own campaign.
Into my campaign. I can do that?
Yeah. What do you Trump spent money on his own campaign.
Do I need to have a campaign manager, or can I be my own campaign manager?
I think you have to have a treasurer, campaign treasurer.
Yeah. I think that's the only person that's required is the treasurer. Somebody, you can't be your own treasurer. And if you're taking donations from other people and stuff, it's got to be.
I don't know. There's a workshop on it though. If you want to get involved and want to be a candidate, Leo,
you throwing your name in the hat?
This election might be a little too late, but
Leo for sheriff.
Yeah,
there's a school board race going on though too, and there's nobody challenging Brian Barefoot.
Nobody challenging Brian.
He's from Beachside, so Johns Island area. I mean, if there's anybody out there that's,
do we need somebody from that area that has to run?
If we want to get rid of Brian Barefoot, yeah.
Does it have to be somebody from the islands?
Yeah, they have to live in that district.
Why?
Because they vote for. I mean, we all vote for the people, but they have to come from that area of the county. Because there's like certain districts. We're District 1 out here, and then I think there's, I don't know.
Where?
In the Felsmer area. Felsmer,
I wonder what
County.
district I am.
I don't know, but local elections mean a lot because those are the people who make the final decision when it comes to what you feel at home, you know?
Right.
Like we felt that during COVID. And some people were trying to hold that against Trump with the lockdowns and stuff like that. But honest to God, our governor was no better.
Yeah.
He wasn't the best governor out there during COVID. He was the most brazen, the most vocal, maybe.
Right.
But I'm glad he's back in the state. Did you see his speech the other day?
No,
I didn't.
Man, he looked so happy.
Yeah.
He, total different fucking person. You got to look up his speech. I wish I had it. He just looked relieved, like
that it was
I'm
over.
back here in Florida, and I'm proud to say, this and
Right.
effective today, we're suspending the campaign, and I'm fully endorsing Trump. But he looked like he was a different person.
I
It was
wonder
just
if
like,
I wonder if he was like asked to do that, like to run,
no.
and that's why he was just like, oh, finally, I'm down to the end to like
They convinced
the
him.
last thing.
He
that I have to
already
do.
was starting to lose some big donors going back to Trump, and he you know, he was already starting to lose some big donors to Trump, but it was clear that you know, he wasn't going to get anywhere.
Yeah,
He was pretty much just there just in case something happened.
I think
to
they
Trump.
convinced him that he had a chance, that Trump wasn't probably going to make it this far. So they convinced him to run. I think once he realized that Trump wasn't or was going to be there and he had no chance, obviously, if he was going to be there, I think he regretted putting his name in the hat. And if he doesn't, he should. Because I think he hurt his career.
I think so. I think he did. I think he's got to mellow out now until 2028, no matter what. Maybe even longer than that. Who knows? Maybe there's a position for him. I can see him as like an attorney general or something like that. But then again, how much can you trust him?
Yeah.
I don't see any of them other people there I would trust.
I think he's bought and paid
in
for
Trump
part of the system.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's probably
He's just part of the problem.
Yeah.
He's not as far left as some other candidates, but he's still part of the system. Part of what the problem is.
Yeah. Anyways, that's all I got for tonight.
that's
We've been
okay.
going for an
So,
hour.
I think that's all we got for this afternoon. This
Yeah.
evening. Beautiful evening, actually. Very
All
beautiful.
right. Well, thank you, everybody.
But yeah,
for-
anyways, I want to give a big shout out to
even though we probably sound like aliens right now on the
our Fresno
live.
Police Department. Thank you, anyways, for everything you do for out here for the city limits of Felsmer.
You just don't want to get pulled over on your way home.
No, I'm just saying. It just bothered me, Vince, because I was like, you know what, like these are like people that are like
And hiring though, like the talent pool out there,
Yeah.
people don't want to work these days, man.
I know,
Especially
Mike,
with
but
all the other bullshit. I'm glad you.
I don't want to be a damn
Would you
cop.
want to be a cop right now? There was a time when I was younger, like I would have considered it, but
I would.
with the extra bullshit now, the microscope you on, if you make a little mistake, they want to fucking, hang you.
I know.
You got to deal with all the race stuff.
I know.
It's a difficult job.
I know. But
Like I don't think I would do it. And for the pay that they're doing it for, no.
But we could do a little bit better, at least a little bit, like straighten them out. Be like, hey, listen, man, like we need to straighten up a little bit, like like let's not look like a bunch of slobs.
Well,
Let's.
I mean, you need to
let's-
look the part, no doubt.
You
But
need to look the part. You need to look like a police officer. You need to be doing your job.
it like Mike was saying, it's slim pickings. Like
Yeah, it is.
People aren't lining up for that job.
No, they're not. I would. Okay, hire me. I just have a few difficulties, but hire me.
Difficulty. Yeah, is that what you call that? Yeah.
But hire me, Felsman Police Department. I'll come out here. Shit.
Yeah.
All right, we're out, guys. See you
Anyways,
guys next
catch us
week.
on Rumble and X and all that good stuff. And
Yeah, for sure.
peace out.
All right. Hasta la vista.
We'll do it live. Okay. No, we'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks.